In this video, we're going to look at algebraic fraction, focusing on the multiplication and division of such expressions. Let's look at first example. Here we need to factorize both the top and the bottom of each fraction. Then we can identify common factors and eliminate them. Let's begin by factorizing the numerator of the first fraction. Here we are looking for the two numbers that when we multiply give us positive 3, but if we add them up it should give us negative 4, and then that could be negative 1 and negative 3. So if I multiply two negative numbers, that will give me positive 3, but if I add negative 1 and negative 3, that would give me negative 4. So I can write up as x minus 1 and then x minus 3. Now let's factorize the denominator of the first fraction. So we're looking for factors of 20. So we're looking at the two numbers such that their product is 20 and their sum is positive 9. So these numbers are 5 and 4, because 5 times 4 gives me 20, and if we add 5 and 4, that gives us positive 9. So I can write it down as x plus 5 and x plus 4. All right, so now let's factorize the second fraction. So let's begin with the numerator. So here we're looking at factors of negative 6. So we're looking at two numbers that when we multiply it gives us negative 6, but if we add them it should give us negative 1. So that should be minus 3 and positive 2, because negative 3 times 2 give us negative 6, but negative 3 add positive 2 that is negative 1. So I can write up is as x minus 3 and then x plus 2. Okay, now let's factorize the denominator. So here we're looking at factors of 12 that when we add these factors it should give us positive 7. So these two numbers are positive 4 and positive 3. So we write up here x plus 4, x plus 3. So now we finished the factorizing all these quadratics, but now we'll when you look at here, we are dealing the two fractions. So we are dealing with the division of the fractions, and we know the general rule when you are dividing the factor. So you copy the first fraction. So I'm just going to do that. So we copy the first fraction, then we change the sign. So we change the division with the multiplication, and then we flip the second fraction. So I'm going to change the division with multiplication, and I'm going to flip the second fraction. So then I will have as a numerator x plus 4, x plus 3, and then x minus 3 and x plus 2 will be the denominator of this fraction. Now next step, we need to identify if there is any common factor between these fractions, and then we can also do the cross cancelling. We can see here x minus 3 and x minus 3, they can cancel out, and we also have x plus 4 and then x plus 4. So our final answer is going to be x minus 1 times x plus 3, and then x plus 5 times x plus 2. Okay, so just pay attention. Identify the common factor between these two fractions, and then you can also do the cross cancelling. You can cancel the numerator of the one fraction with the denominator of the other one. Now let's have a look at the second example. So we're going to start factorizing with the numerator of the first fraction. So here we're looking at the factors of 4. If we multiply these numbers, it should give us the positive 4. But if I add them up, it should be negative 4. And these two numbers are negative 2 and negative 2, because negative 2 times negative 2 gives us positive 4, but if I add them, it gives us negative 4. So I'm going to write up as x minus 2, x minus 2. And then if we factorize the denominator, so we're looking for the factors of 5. So if we multiply, we should get positive 5. And if I add these two factors, we should have positive 6. Okay, so and then we dividing by, so let's factorize the numerator of the second fraction. We can see that this expression has 2 in common. If I take the 2 out of the bracket, we will have x minus 2 left behind, and then we can factorize the denominator. Yeah, you can see that they have 3 in common. So we take the 3 out of the bracket, and we will have x plus 5 left behind. Like we did for the first example, we know that when we are dividing the fraction, we copy the first fraction, we multiply reciprocal of the another fraction. So we copy, change, and flip the second fraction. So I'm gonna just copy the first fraction, okay, then we're gonna change the sign with the multiplication, and then I'm gonna flip the second fraction. So we will have x minus 2 as a denominator. Then we're going to identify the common factors, and then we can see numerator. So here we have the x minus 2, and we have x minus 2 as a denominator of the second fraction, so they will cancel each other out, and then we can cancel x plus 5 with x plus 5. Now what we are left is 3 times x minus 2, and then over we have 2 and x plus 1. So we know that if we multiply x plus 1 by 2, so we normally place the number in front of the bracket. Okay, now let's have a look at the next example. So this one is multiplication of the two algebraic fractions. So we don't need to change the sign or flip the second fraction. This is more straightforward, but let's first factorize the numerator of first fraction. So the factors of 12 that when we add gives us negative 7 is going to be minus 4 and minus 3. So we factorize, so that gives us x minus 4, x minus 3. And then if we factorize the denominator, so we're looking at factors of 2, that when we add these numbers, we should have positive 3. So they are 2 and 1. So we write up as x plus 2 and then x plus 1. So when you look at the second fraction, this fraction is already in the simplest form. You can't really do anything to simplify. So what I'm going to do, I'm just copy down what we already have, and then now we're looking at if there's any common factor. So normally what I like when I have the expression, I like to put them in a bracket. It's much easier when I'm cancelling out. So here I can cancel x minus 3 with x minus 3, and I can cancel the x plus 1 with x plus 1. So what I am left with is x minus 4 over x plus 2. And then let's have a look at the final question. So here we are dealing the quadratics as a numerator or denominator of both fractions. So what we need to do, factorize them, and let's start with the numerator of the first fraction. So here the factors of 10 when I add to give me -7 is -5 and -2. So this quadratic will factorize as x minus 5, x minus 2. And if you factorize the denominator, that's going to give me so factors, we're looking for factors of 6. When we add them, that it gives +5, that is 3 and 2. So it factorizes as x plus 3, x plus 2. Okay, so then we multiply by, so let's factorize the numerator of second fraction. So the factors of 3, that when we add to give us, we're looking for the factors of -3, and then when we add these numbers should give us +2. So that's going to be 3 and -1. So we can write up x plus 3, x minus 1, and let's factorize denominator. So we're looking for the factors of -10, and when we add these factors should give us -3. So that is -5 and +2, because -5 times +2 give us -10, but if I add -5 and +2, it will give us -3. So I can write up as x minus 5 and x plus 2. Now we need to identify the common factors, and as I said previously, you can cancel you can do the cross cancelling. So you can cancel the numerator of one fraction with the denominator of the second one. So we can cancel x minus 5 with x minus 5, or x plus 3 with x plus 3. So what we end up with is x minus 2 times x minus 1, and here we have x plus 2 times x plus 2. Actually, if I want to simplify further, I can write up as x minus 2 times x minus 1 over x plus 2 all squared, because that you can see the x plus 2 is repeated twice. So if you take the expression and multiply by itself, this is as squaring it. You square it. Okay, so please check for my other videos as well. So I will be posting algebraic fractions when we are adding or subtracting them.